This is Matrix Lord 212, and this discussion is about the Avengers, the team themselves, the actors, the actress, that they are having problems with Marvel Studios. This is a big, big issue. Okay, this article is coming from comicbookmovie.com. They call it, see, Marvel Studios clash with the Avengers 2 stars over money, cast threatening to quit. Now, this story came in yesterday, all right, and I'm going to read what it says. It says, it sounds like Marvel Studios may run into trouble on Avengers 2 due to the fact that the cast of superhero assemble are demanding more money. According to the report, Chris Hemsworth very nearly decided not to return to Thor: The Dark World. They said, read on. It's already made $700 million at the worldwide box office, but now Dateline reveals that Robert Downey Jr. has already made $35 million from Iron Man 3, with his eventual payday to set to rise higher than that. Remember, there was reports that he made over $50 million for Avengers. Well, the site believes that is actually more along the lines of 70 to 80 million. See, however, that is by no means the most interesting part of their piece, entitled Robert Downey Jr. and the Avengers cast ready to rumble. From what this says, is stingy Marvel ready to rumble with stingy Marvel over sequel money and strong arming. And see, according to Nikki Fink, she has learned that Marvel and therefore owner Disney are going to run into big trouble on the sequel because the upfront pay, back end compensation, break-even points, and box office bonuses aren't pinned down yet for several big stars and castmates. This is a major hurdle which Walt Disney Company Chairman CEO Bob Iger hasn't even mentioned to Wall Street or the shareholders, although they're already hyping Avengers 2 like crazy for more than a year now. While many of the actors are signed for multi-picture deals, they're all said to be counting on at least $5 million upfront and better back ends for Avengers 2. Will Marvel replace them in an attempt to strong-arm them for more money? Increasingly, the site reveals that the Avengers was only nominated for one Oscar. This is because Marvel refused to pay for an award season campaign for the picture. And even when Disney offered to foot the bill, Marvel wouldn't budge. However, rather than turning on Downey Jr., the cast of the superhero assemble are said to be united behind Robert Downey Jr., who is seen as their leader, like a big brother, in the words of one rep. For all the younger actors in the assemble, he's the only guy with real power in this situation and balls of steel, too. He's already sent a message that he's not going to work for a place where they treat his colleagues like shit. Wow. The report is very in-depth, and it's mentioned that both Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth clashed with Marvel Studios over their returns in Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Thor: The Dark World. Calling it the weirdest experience, one rep still can't believe Marvel offered only a $500,000 raise, and then would pay another $500,000 when the movie hits $500 million. Wow. Are they out of their minds? When it was pointed out that Marvel that Hemsworth already received $5 million for a starring role in Snow White, the Huntsman, the studio shot back. I don't know why they're complaining when Marvel only has hit movies. To which the response was, he's happier working at a place like Universal. While Marvel has threatened to sue or recast anyone who doesn't play ball with them, many of those same cast members have responded with a very nonchalant "go ahead." Apparently, Hemsworth especially wasn't anxious to go back into that diet training regimen and subsist primarily on egg whites for Thor 2: The Dark World, which hits theaters November 8th. It is also understood that Scarlett Johansson told castmates she's not going to cut her quote for Marvel's Avengers 2. Now, there's been more than this article. There has been issues where Chris Evans had stated that they told him the last minute. They kept him in the dark about his own movie, Captain America 2: The Winter Soldier. They didn't give him any information, and it was like, to him, it was like disrespectful that he didn't know ahead of time, like, widely. I guess because he was signed, so they felt. And the thing I have to say about this is that I know that there's now contract negotiations with Robert Downey Jr. They want him to re-sign, for a couple picture deal. They want him to be in Avengers 2. They want him to be Avengers 3. They want him to be in Iron Man 4. From what I understand, as of past week, the only deal now is that Robert Downey Jr. may commit to Avengers 2 and 3, but will not do an Iron Man 4. So that's the latest. Now, more on this story is the fact that just today, coming from Digital Spy, Captain America star Chris Evans was just signed for a 6-film Marvel contract. Okay, Chris Evans has revealed that he's contracted with Marvel Studios for 6 films. The Captain America and Avengers star is in line to appear in another 2 movies following those currently announced. We got 6, which is good because initially it was 9, Evans told Collider. He said that he was reluctant to accept the offer. I was like, I can't do 9, but even 6, you can do 6 over 10 years. It's a big commitment. Evans will next appear as Steve Rogers' Captain America in Captain America the Winter Soldier and Avengers 2. Marvel Studios are not going to do bad movies, he added. I love being the character. I love being part of the team, and it is the best. If you have to be under a 6-picture contract, you can't find a better one. Okay, he can currently be seen right now in The Iceman, and will star in the upcoming Snowpiercer. Captain America: The Winter Soldier will debut April 4, 2014, followed by Avengers 2 on May 1st, 2015. So Chris Evans is signed 6 more Marvel movies. Wow. You know, and like I said, the deal right now, they got, well, it's not set in stone yet, but Robert Downey Jr. probably will sign for Avengers 2 and 3, and then they're really trying to get him for more, whether it be cameos, and they really want an Iron Man 4 desperately, but if he backs out, they would just give up Iron Man 4 just to sign him in general. So I will follow up with more contract signings, you know, as the cast of the Avengers are re-signed right here on my channel, because this is big news. I mean, Iron Man 3 has already made $700 million worldwide. Now, I am going to go into detail and do a massive report on Iron Man 3 because I guess I created some confusion with my video. I need to explain the difference between domestic and world and you know, foreign, and then put them together worldwide, because I need to show what Avengers made here and overseas and combined, as well as Avatar and all the other movies, and then to show where we stand with Iron Man 3. Because, you know, if you take Avengers here did 653, I think, but that's not counted as the foreign markets. Now, the foreign markets added together is well over 1 billion, I think 600 million. So, Iron Man 3 isn't there yet. Okay, it may not reach that at all, because overall picture, you know, yes, it is doing phenomenal, but the key thing is that it's doing phenomenal overseas rather than here. How much will it make over here, and will it make more here than overseas, remains to be seen, but the movie is just basically a baby. It just came out, so, you know, you got to give it time to grow up and in the theater. So, let's just see, you know, by next Monday where we stand with Iron Man 3 in the sales and everything. And like I said, I will let you guys know what's going on with the comics in general too, because there are issues with Marvel Comics and the comics. And, you know, look, the thing is this, and this is my philosophy. It's okay to grow and evolve, but when you get too big for yourself, where you think you have an ego and you can never get knocked down from your cloud, you fall on your face. And my thing is this, that I don't like the idea. Look, I like Disney, and I'm glad they became powerful with Star Wars, but I don't want them to get a big head. I don't want them to think that they are unstoppable. I already seen that they're fighting with theaters and stuff like that because they want more money, a deal that's been set in stone for 30 years. They want to make more cut from the movies. And I just hope that this doesn't poison Disney themselves and Marvel, where they feel that because they have all these companies that nobody can stop them, and they are higher up, and they are the better than anybody else and better than any other company. So there is an issue I have with Marvel Comics lately that I will do a video concerning Spider-Man, because like that is my favorite character of the comics. And there is issues. There is issues that I feel that now Marvel is becoming too commercial. They're doing too many different things to get the, you know, the money shot, or the big picture, or the artwork, the different things, and the stories tend to not make sense and fall apart. And I think that's happened a lot with these characters that I'm not really happy about. I mean, you have to honor the past, you have to honor the character, and just to make a buck, I feel that different things are going on. Concerning the Superior Spider-Man, like I said, when I saw Amazing Spider-Man 700, I was pissed off. I was reading it. I wasn't happy with Peter Parker dying, and then Dan Slott contacted me flat out. And you know what? I have an open mind, so I gave Superior Spider-Man comic a chance, and I liked what I saw. But now it's getting to the point where we're already at issue 9, and it seems to me that they're going in the opposite direction of what I thought was going to be. I thought that Peter Parker was going to come back from good, and their storyline was going to be over. But what I feel is that they feel they're making too much money from it, they think. And overall, the short money that they make now, they think that that will last, and they think that that's what fans want. But the thing is that I don't like the Peter Parker bashing in the book. And I'm gonna have a massive, massive video on it tomorrow. I don't like it. You can't fool anybody. Well, you could try to fool people, but with me, I've been reading comics for a long, long time, and as far as I'm concerned, Otto Octavius is not superior in any way. And the fact that he knows how to make webs better than Peter Parker did when he was doing it for 50 years, but not comic book time. But that is just absurd. That's just a way to say that you sell your book. And I don't believe in any way, shape, or form that they try to make it like Peter Parker makes mistakes where he's not a saint. Look, I'm not saying he's a saint, but he made a mistake with the burglar. Yes, he makes some mistakes, but I don't believe they're going to make a whole thing where he makes dramatic mistakes now as a ghost and everything to where he would endanger or hurt somebody, or somebody would die because of his decisions just to get back in his body. And I'm just not happy with the current state of affairs. So I will voice my opinion on Superior Spider-Man. It is a good book. It is very well written. It's really good, but ultimately, Spider-Man is Spider-Man, and I don't expect. And that's the thing. Would you ever expect Dr. Octopus to be in Spider-Man's body? Well, we saw that, and that's another thing. We saw that in the animated series where in an alternate future, Dr. Octopus was Spider-Man. Maybe Dan Slott got the idea from that. I don't know, but would you expect to see Peter Parker being Spider-Man in Mary Jane's body? Would you expect to see different things going on? Like, I understand it's like shock and awe, but now it seems to me like this storyline is extending well beyond what it's supposed to. I'm hoping it doesn't turn into a clone storyline in like 2-3 years. And, I'm not going to believe anything about the Spider-Man, the Peter Parker bashing and how he makes all these mistakes that are not revealed, and to see the true character of Peter Parker. I know what the true character of Peter Parker is, and just because you want to boost Doc Ock and make him superior, you don't need to knock Peter Parker down in the process. And a lot of people do that. I mean, they think, okay, they want to, like, I'm not saying Dan Slott does that, but they thought to make the next Star Trek The Next Generation take off, they had to kill Kirk in Star Trek Generations, which was ridiculous. So that way there'll be no way they can go back to Star Trek with Kirk and Spock and McCoy, and that was absurd. And in order for Doc Ock to take off as Spider-Man, they got to keep bashing Peter Parker and make it like he's made so many mistakes and knock his character down. And you know what? Like, Spider-Man will always be Peter Parker, and Doc Ock will never be superior. Ever. I don't care how much money it's making, because overall, you will see, eventually, people will say, hey, enough is enough, okay? With great power comes great responsibility. If Peter Parker was able to save the life of a child and give up himself and his way to get back in his body, he would. As far as I know I wasn't going to say this, but as far as I'm concerned, that stuff that's going on in Superior, that is not Peter Parker in his body. That's a reflection or memory patterns. It's not really the real Peter Parker. I think the real Peter Parker is in the Golden Octobot or whatever it is, and I don't have to go into details really. I mean, he's somewhere, but I think that got erased. Peter Parker, and well, this is spoilers now. Here we go. So I'm gonna put spoiler warning on this whole thing too. So we'll talk. I'll talk about it later on. But that's what's going on with the Avengers and Marvel in general, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye for now.